Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you so much for joining me today. We are using let me see if I can find the box. Okay, so I found the box. It is the Spirit of the Woods, and this is one of the new bead mixes from Jesse James Beads. I did an unboxing and we made a pair of earrings using these cylinder beads here and some other components and beads from the bead mix. So today though, we are going to, so you see I still have a ton. I've already made a pair of earrings and here they are. So I just used one of the faceted beads. I used a couple of the spacers and then just brought them all together using a head pin and some wire, some German style wire from Beadalon. And we made these gorgeous ones up. So now what we have is I still have some of this beautiful chain reaction. And what I did was I just went ahead and kept the slit ring on here. The split ring, sorry, I said split ring here. And I went ahead and kept that on there so that I can use it as the clasp for the clasp to connect to that. And then I've just been going back and forth on what I'm going to do down here. And I think all that I'm going to do is just simply attach it straight to here. I thought of using this as a dangle, using this bead as a dangle. I also brought out some of these little rings, these little gold rings, thought of bringing that down into play too. And I guess maybe we can still do that, but I don't know, I'm going to put that off to the side. So we have this here, this necklace. And again, you can tell it's going to be a fairly short necklace. So it is probably just going to be about maybe 16 inches or so. And so I'm going to go ahead and string this up just as I have here. And then I can see here that I have a little guy that got out of the way here. So I have all these other little projects right here. And what happened was my little granddaughter came into my little beading room and I was showing her stuff. And before I knew it, I was like, oh no, I had that in a line because I was picking up the beads and showing her. And yeah, so I think it goes like this. I think that's how it goes. And so I'm going to go ahead and get that strung up. I mean, I still have this chain reaction left and I could possibly, like I said, add that ring to the bottom here, maybe, possibly, and then maybe have a few little dangles here. And I'll show you what I do with these little guys here when I'm going to use them at the bottom because we have a pair of earrings that we're going to be using that with. And so let me get these strung up. I'm going to string these up just like so. And I am going to be using I was going to use that one, but we're going to go ahead and use this gold color Beadalon. This is 19 strand. This is from Jesse James Beads. I got it from them. And I'm going to go ahead and get these strung. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and assemble some earrings. So I just love these rondelles. They were so gorgeous. And again, yours are going to look different than mine. These two even look different, but that's what makes this so beautiful. Then I went ahead and grabbed some bead caps. If these bead caps look familiar to you, oh, this one's a little cattywampus. If these look a little familiar to you, these were included in our, I got these in the Beads by the Pound, those mixes. So I got those and these, got them all through there. And I thought, yeah, so I took all of my bead caps that I got in my different Beads by the Pound and go ahead and I put them through here, just in a nice little container to get them separated. All right, so that's basically all we're going to be doing is just stacking these up. And what I did was I found a really long, this is a 3-inch head pin, and I had to use that just because I kept these all together. So the first thing I did was I went ahead and grabbed one of these little guys here, and you can use any bead cap you want. And then I kind of stacked them a little bit. So then I used another one of these. And then let's go ahead and, well, let's go ahead and put, because, oh no, I don't need that guy. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that guy on, and then one of these. And then we're gonna grab this gorgeous orange bead. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that finish. So gorgeous. Oh, wait. We need another bead cap. All right, there we go there. Today is Thanksgiving. How is everybody's Thanksgiving coming along? Let's see. And then I grabbed one of these little beads. I've showed these before in my videos where I have these little beads and I have no idea where I got them. And I just have a ton of them. And so I'm going to go ahead and use those. And it looks like I probably did. Let's see here. Did I do 4 wraps? Looks like I did 4 wraps to get those, to get that all nice and tight. So let me come in with my chain nose pliers because I want to have the same number of wraps on each of them. And then we're going to come in with our round nose pliers. And let me see what size loop I have. Probably about right here. I usually try to use, when you're making these at the same time, it's easier to remember where you had your, where you put your loop. But I am making these several days later. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and come in with my chain nose pliers, and I'm just gonna grab just above where the 2 wires meet, and then I'm gonna start wrapping. And I want this to be a nice tight, maybe I only went 3. Let's see what that looks like. Did I go 3? Nope, looks like I went 4. So I'm gonna go 4th one because I wanna make sure that I have this nice and tight because I don't want my beads to spin. There we go. And I felt it lock into place when I just came around this last 4th time. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead, and this is the back. So the front of my loops, I have the front and the back. My front is where my loop starts. So then I finish in the back here because I'm gonna go ahead and give that a little bit of a trim. Okay. Then I come in with my chain nose pliers. Again, I'm gonna hold it with my bent chain nose pliers, and I'm gonna come in, and since it was kind of a little pokey on the side, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of a squish to bring that together. And there we go. And so the ball just kind of got over a little bit. So we just have to do a little bit of rearranging here just to get it to where it's straight up and down. Now it's a little cattywampus. So let's just kind of maneuver it. I'm just barely moving it, just barely, to try and get it to be a little bit more centered. And these ear wires were left over from one of the you guessed it, Jesse James Beads, one of their workshops. You get so many materials with those workshops and events. And so with that, right now is the winter workshop 2022. And I will check and see if there are still any, if the workshop kit is still available. And you say, you know what, we've already had classes. Well, that's okay, because when you register for those events, you have forever access to the replays. All right, so here we go. Here is a pair of earrings. Just beautiful. I love the colors. I love them stacked together. I love that they're a little bit different. And so we have one pair of earrings there. This next one is very easy. This one here is taking that chain reaction. So I'm using a couple of links, right? And then what I did was, this is how those crystal beads are on the chain reaction. And what I did was I just cut it. I just snipped it off. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to grab a head pin. I have one of these 2-inch head pins. These I got from Jesse James Beads, and they're Beadalon. I don't know where I got the 3mm one from. But what we're going to do is we are going to attach it directly to the chain reaction here at the bottom. And as you can see here, I like having that little tiny jump ring that comes with the chain as the top. And so just a nice little dangle. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and I've already trimmed it off of the chain reaction. And then we're going to go ahead and come in with the tippy tip of your chain nose pliers. Okay. And then give it a bend. And just always do keep in mind, these are crystal beads. They will break if you are not too careful. All right, so now let's go ahead and get that centered because we want a lollipop, not a pea. However, though, I think I went a little too far. However, what we want to do is before we start wrapping, we want to go ahead and get this attached to the chain. Okay, and so then it is going to be, this is going to be the front, I believe. Let's see. Yep. All right, so now let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. And if these spin, I don't mind if these beads spin just because these are all by themselves. So we're just going to go ahead and give it 3. Plus, I don't want to mess too much with it because these are crystal beads, and I don't want to make them too tight because I don't want it to shatter. Okay, so now I have something to kind of grab on. So I'm going to just go ahead and hold on to here and just give it a little bit of a squish. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and get, where's the front? There's the front. Let's go ahead and get my ear wire. And go ahead and get it opened up. You could probably just use your hands, but now this is the front, so I want to make sure that I am getting the front and putting the front on the front, if that makes sense. There we go. And let's close it up. And there we go. Here's our second pair of earrings. And they're just really gorgeous little drop earrings. And see how easy? And again, this is using the chain reaction. So it's not just used for chain. All right. So now look at these gorgeous, look how gorgeous that looks. So in the bead mix, you also have these copper. You have the copper bead caps that are included. So I took a teardrop. So I took a teardrop bead, turned it, I don't know if it's upside down. I don't know what the top and bottom is. But then what I did was I grabbed my bead cap. And then, so for this one here, I want to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully, again, you have to be super careful with these guys because you do not want to shatter them. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this guy on there, just like so. All right. And these are copper head pins. These are from TierraCast. And I'm going to go ahead and come in this way. Rotate, push to the back, and there we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and just put my chain nose pliers over, I'm going to kind of close it up a little bit and go ahead and put my chain nose pliers over there. Grab my round nose pliers and give it my 3 wraps. And again, these are crystal beads, so you don't want to go, I mean, you can go tight, but you have to remember that these are crystal, and if you go too tight, if we were to try and go a 4th wrap, I would shatter this. And if they spin, I'm okay with that. And so I'm going to come in just with the tippy tip very carefully and get that closed off. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and put this on an ear wire, close it off, make sure it's nice and tight up against there, and look at here. We have another pair of earrings. So we have 3 pairs of earrings, 4 if you include the guy from that I made with the unboxing. Now what we have is we have this gorgeous square bead that is actually drilled this way. Then we're going to use one of those gorgeous bead caps. I mean, look at those bead caps, and it's nice and thick and just gorgeous. And one of these elongated bicones. So what I did for this one here, and I have some leverback ear wires from my stash. I'm going to use some 20 gauge copper craft wire, and this is from Softflex Company. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make my own head pin. And I thought that that looked really pretty at the bottom where it has that little rosette. And I'm okay that it spins because, again, we have crystal beads, and crystal beads will break. And so you just have to be very, very aware. Okay, so I'm going to cut probably more than what I need. I'm going to do 6 inches. And the reason why is because I'm going to go ahead and make that bottom, but I need some length for here. And also too, since I am working with those delicate crystal beads, I just want to be able to have enough room and be comfortable with my wraps. Okay, so now I'm just at the tippy tip of my round nose pliers here and going to go around a couple of times. I feel like I went on top. Because this is so far away from my head. All right, so I feel like that one on top. Yeah, let's grab another one. All right, so I'm gonna grab another 6 inches. That's just gonna go in my scraps. Again, it's sometimes, for those of you that record, sometimes it's hard because the angle of your where your camera is to be on camera, and then where you're actually working is sometimes way far away from your face, and that's the case here. All right, so now I want to go around a couple times to where I get to where the beginning of the coil is staring at me in the face, right? Okay, so here we go here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off and thread that back through. And as I thread this back through, I am going to grab my nylon jaw pliers and go ahead and give it a good tug. And then also what I do is I always just kind of press a little just to make sure that I have a nice, look at that. You can tell while it's even in here of how your little rosette's gonna look. Okay, so let's go ahead and come in here. Okay, and then we're just gonna rotate and just push that to the back, and then rotate the wrist until you have a lollipop. Let's go ahead and rest our chain nose pliers on top of the loop. And since I have such a long tail, I can go ahead and just use my fingers. And we're gonna give it 3 good tight wraps. If I was off camera, I apologize. I won't know that until I go to look at it again. Let's go ahead and give it there. And then I'm going to keep this as scraps. Sometimes that's what I use when I am trying to see what will go together as far as when I'm designing my earrings, or I will use it for other little things. And I'm being very, very careful going over the tippy tip of that. And what I failed to do was put on my ear wire, which I can just open up and put on, but if I don't have to open something up, I'm not going to, but I have to now since I finished. So there we go there. There is our 4th pair of earrings. So we have 4 pairs of earrings here and a little bit of scraps here. And then I'll come back when we get ready to start our necklace. Okay, so we are back to finish this off. This is the necklace. We've made our earrings and now we need to finish off this necklace. I noticed that this just didn't have enough length for me. I want this, actually it's this way, but I wanted a little bit more length. I kind of wanted this, I wanted it to droop like that. So if you can see, I want it to droop like that rather than having it droop like this. So I decided that I would connect a couple more of the chains and I did, and the golds don't match, but that's okay. If someone's standing that close to you, I heard from a very wise woman one time, if they're standing that close to tell that there's a difference, they're standing too close. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, and I just linked a few of those scrap pieces together that I had. So I had this one here with the end being the little crystal rondelle, and then I added this, but I wanted it to be even as far as jump ring to jump ring. So that's why I redid that. Then I am going to actually connect the wire directly to these little tiny jump rings right here. So I'm not going to be using a wire guard only because I think that's going to be okay. And we're using 19 strand. 19 strand is pretty strong. I'm a firm believer of the wire guardians, but for this project, I'm not going to. I don't feel like it would be completely necessary. However, though, we're going to go ahead and get them connected using some 2x2 crimp tubes. These are Beadalon 2x2 crimp tubes, and you can get crimp tubes from jessiejamesbeads.com, as well as this 19 strand wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and connect, and we want to connect it directly to that jump ring. So I am going to add my 2x2 crimp tube. I'm going to go ahead and thread on I'm going to try it again. I'm going to thread on my my little chain reaction. I love this chain reaction. And as you can see, I have kept my my wire still in the spool. For me, it's just about being a little frugal, a little I don't know, I guess it's a little frugal. You know, you try to save where you can, and you save where you can. You don't cut corners on your beads and your quality of your stringing wire and your wire. You don't cut corners there, but where you can cut corners is saving on your beading wire. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure that these are separated and not crossing. And they're kind of, nope, they're not crossing. Wait. Nope, they look like they're crossing. No, they're not crossing. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and use our crimping tool and make sure we're in that back well, which I am not. There we go. We're in the back well. Our wires are separated. You want to make sure you're over that entire crimp tube and give it a squish. Now that you've given that a squish, your 2 wires are separated. You come in now with the top notch of your crimping tool, and see, you're in that front notch, and you close it up, and look how pretty that is. I don't use the crimp covers often. This one, yeah, I probably could have. I could have probably used a gold, but I'm not going to. They're just so pretty. Look how clean those crimp up. And you could see I gave it a little bit of a tug test just to make sure. Now what I'm going to do is I always pass through one bead, not for security, but for cosmetics, because I feel like the bead sits up against, if I can get that back in there, I feel like the bead sits up against the this crimp a little bit better if it's a little even. See how it's even that way? And if you trim it, you're going to have one side that's not there. And so I just feel like it goes up against that bead really well, the crimp. So I get it as tight as I can there. And then I come in with my cutters and give it a little bit of a trim. Okay, there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring the rest of the beads down, and then we're going to trim here. And I go down probably a couple and a half inches. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put on our second crimp here. And put on our second crimp. Then we're going to thread onto that jump ring on that side. Then we're going to go ahead and pass it back through. And when I pass it back through, I'm going to pass it through the first bead. And for this side, it's to give me some stability for me to grab onto and to hold. And I do want it to be a little loosey-goosey, but not too much. So we got that there. Keep those separated. And then we're going to come in with our crimping tool, and we're going to go in that last notch. Make sure we are over the crimp, and make sure we have that there. And we will come in with the inside part here to finish it off. And give it another crimp. And then just give it the little tug test, and it works. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and do that. Okay, so now, oops. So now we have this cute little start of a necklace. Now I did want this over on this side. Oh, you can kind of see the, not when it's all like that though. All right, I'm just making sure you can't see any wires poking out. Again, you can add a crimp cover if you want to that. I'm not going to, but what I am going to add is I'm going to go ahead and add my jump ring and my lobster clasp. So let's go ahead and break out one of these jump rings. Again, if you feel more comfortable using the crimp covers, go for it. Oops, grabbing it the wrong way. And let's go ahead and close this guy off. He's not wanting to close off. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to open him up a little bit more and get him closed off. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our lobster clasp, and though my lobster clasp that I chose was a little bit bigger because I knew that I would want it to get around that whole split ring. So there we go. There we have a nice, pretty, it's a short necklace, so you can stack it, you can layer it, but isn't that just pretty? And it just so happens that that ends up in the same place. Okay, so now we are all done. I can close off those. I'm going to pull these off to the side. So what we've made using our Spirit of the Woods bead mix is during the unboxing, we made this pair of earrings. Gorgeous. Then during this video, we have made these earrings that would go gorgeous with this. We made these earrings. We made these gorgeous crystal earrings with using some copper, and this pair of crystal earrings, again using some copper. So here we have it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of earrings, 1 necklace, and look at all that I still have in here. I am going to try and make another one of these pairs of earrings. And what else am I going to do? I want to do something with these these large hole beads here too. But stay tuned. We still have plenty of beads to use out of this bead mix. Then also in the next video, we will be introducing the Spirit of the Woods, the oak tree. Look at those colors. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So stay tuned for that one there. So if you like this video, please give it a big, huge thumbs up and comment. I read what everybody has to say, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.